Hey guys, I'm going to be walking you through one of the final stages of your InDesign process, and that is after you've gone through and completed your file, you're going to want to go through and package your entire file, just kind of like we did in Illustrator. I actually prefer, just as a designer, I prefer to do this early on. That way, all my assets that I'm placing into InDesign, I have a links folder and I have all the things that I need to be able to keep my file nice and organized. But let's say you're not that type of person and you know where all your contents are and you know where all your images are and you're not moving them, then you can do this as one of the final stages of your InDesign process. So first things first, you have to have saved your InDesign file. You guys can see that I've saved this file already. I've labeled it test.indesign. And what I want to do now is I want to take the fonts, I want to take the image, everything that I have inside this layout, and I want to take it with me so that when I take this to a printer or I move to another computer or even doing something as simple as going to the lab to print, I have all the assets that I need for my InDesign file in one central location. So I'm going to go to File and I'm going to go to Package. And it's going to bring up this window for me. And the package window gives me a lot of insight into errors that I might be encountering inside my InDesign file, as well as understanding all the things that I maybe have done right. So let's read through some of these things, and this will give me a little bit of an insight, a bit of a summary, if you will, of what's happening inside my file. So currently right now I've used 2 fonts. No fonts are missing, none are embedded in the file, and 0 are incomplete. 2 of them are protected. Basically what that means is that 2 have a license that have to be used with them, okay? I've used 1 link, okay, or 1 image. I haven't modified, it's not missing, it's not inaccessible, it's not embedded. However, it does use RGB, and we know that if we were gonna print this, we want this to be CMYK. So this would be something I would want to change. How many inks am I using? I'm using 4 process inks. Even though this is RGB, the file is set up to run in process. I'm not using any spot colors, Pantone or Toyo. And then everything else looks pretty good. So the next thing I can do is open up the fonts menu, and this gives me the list of the fonts that I'm using. I can also go through and open the links and images menu, and this will tell me every single image as well as the page that it's on, if it's linked, if it's good, the size, all that stuff. It even tells me where it's linked to. This one's just linked to my downloads folder, so I want that to be in the links folder whenever I'm done. Colors and inks, this tells me the colors and inks that I'm using. It tells me all the print settings. I'm ready to go. So let's go ahead and hit package. And I want to take this and let's put this on my desktop, and I'm going to put it in I call it test in the folder. So I'm going to copy the fonts, the linked graphics, everything in there. I'm going to include an IDML, which allows me to go backwards in time to an older version of InDesign. And I'm also going to go through and include a PDF so that my client can easily access this and see what we've done inside the InDesign file without having to have InDesign to open the file. So if I click package, it's going to give me a warning, just like it did in Illustrator, about my fonts. Click OK. It takes everything, and this should place everything inside of a folder. Let me grab it for you on this other window. Here we go. And I called it test. Here's my links. So this is the image that I was using. You can see it right there. Maybe I didn't check fonts. I don't think I did. My bad, guys. There's a box in here that you check fonts and it will do it. So let's just real quick show you where that is so that you guys can see it. I won't go through and repackage, but I made a mistake and I won't re-record. Copy the fonts. Oh, except added from Adobe Fonts. Okay. All right, guys. This is actually good that this is happening in front of you. So I'm using Adobe Caslon. That is from Adobe Fonts. For a person to use Adobe Caslon from Adobe Fonts, they must have the Adobe Fonts license as well. Most print shops do, but if you guys are wanting to get around this, you don't have to use Adobe fonts. You can go through and use other fonts from places like Google Fonts and things like that you actually own the rights to use, and that will go through and alleviate that problem. So that's what happened there. Sorry about that. Wasn't thinking about it whenever I chose Caslon here, but hopefully this helps you guys, and this should allow you to take your files to other computers and use them and print them, and we'll be walking you through printing here shortly.